January 6th, Genesis 19, 20, and 21. Genesis 19. And the two messengers came to Sodom in the evening, and Lot was sitting in the gate of Sodom. And when Lot saw them, he rose up to meet them, and bowed himself with his face toward the ground. And he said, "Look, please, my masters, turn into your servant's house, and spend the night, and wash your feet, and rise early and go on your way." And they said, "No, but let us spend the night in the open square." But he urged them strongly, and they turned into him and came into his house. And he made them a feast, and baked them unleavened bread, and they ate. Before they lay down, the men of the city, the men of Sodom, both old and young, all the people from every part, surrounded the house. And they called out to Lot, and said to him, Where are the men who came to you tonight? Bring them out to us, and let us know them. So Lot went out to them through the doorway, and shut the door behind him, and said, "Please, my brothers, do not do evil. Look, please, I have 2 daughters who have not known a man. Please let me bring them out to you, and do to them as you wish. Only do no deed to these men, because they have come under the shadow of my roof." But they said, "Stand back." And they said, This one came into sojourn, and should he always judge? Now we are going to treat you worse than them. So they pressed hard against the man Lot, and came near to break down the door. But the men reached out their hands and pulled Lot into the house with them, and shut the door. Then they struck the men who were in the doorway of the house with blindness, both small and great, and they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said to Lot, "Have you anyone else here, a son-in-law and your sons and your daughters, and whomever you have in the city, bring them out of this place. For we are going to destroy this place, because the cry against them has grown great before the face of Yah, and Yah has sent us to destroy it." And Lot went out and spoke to his sons-in-law, who had married his daughters, and said, "Get up and get out of this place, for Yah is going to destroy this city." But to his sons-in-law he seemed to be as one joking. And when morning dawned, the messengers urged Lot to hurry, saying, "Get up, take your wife and your 2 daughters who are here, lest you be consumed in the punishment of the city." And while he loitered, the men took hold of his hand, and his wife's hand, and the hands of his 2 daughters, Yah having compassion on him, and brought him out and set him outside the city. And it came to be, when they had brought him outside, that he said, "Escape for your life. Do not look behind you, nor stay anywhere in the plain. Escape to the mountains, lest you be consumed." Apparently I forgot to turn off notifications. And Lot said to them, "Oh no, Yah, please, look, your servant has found favor in your eyes, and you have increased your loving commitment which you have shown me by saving my life. But I am unable to escape to the mountains, lest calamity overtake me and I die. Look, please, already read that. Look, please, this city is near enough to flee to, and it is small. Please let me escape there. It is not a small matter, and let my life be saved." And he said to him, "Look, I have favored you concerning this matter also, without overthrowing this city for which you have spoken. Hurry, escape there, for I am not able to do any deed until you arrive there." So the name of the city was called Zoar. The sun had risen upon the earth when Lot entered Zoar, and Yah rained sulfur and fire on Sodom and Gomorrah from Yah out of the heavens. So he overthrew those cities, and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and what grew on the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a post of salt. And Abraham rose early in the morning, and went to the place where he had stood before Yah. And he looked toward Sodom and Gomorrah, and toward the land of the plain, And he looked and saw the smoke of the land, which went up like the smoke of a furnace. And thus it came to be, when Elohim destroyed the cities of the plain, that Elohim remembered Abraham, and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot had dwelt. And he went up out of Sor, and dwelt in the mountains. And his 2 daughters were with him, for he was afraid to dwell in Sor. And he and his 2 daughters dwelt in a cave. And the firstborn said to the younger, Our father is old, and there is no man on the earth to come into us, as is the way of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and lie with him, so that we preserve the seed of our father. So they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he was not aware of it, when she lay down, or when she arose. And it came to be on the next day, that the firstborn said to the younger, See, I lay with my father last night. Let us make him drink wine tonight as well, and you go in and lay with him, so that we keep the seed of our father. So they made their father drink wine that night as well. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he was not aware of it when she lay down, or when she arose. Thus both the daughters of Lot became pregnant by their father. And the firstborn bore a son, and called his name Moab. He is the father of the Moabites to this day. And the younger, she also bore a son, and called his name Ben-Amin. He is the father of the children of Ammon to this day. Genesis 20. And Abraham set out from there to the land of the south, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and stayed in Gerar. And Abraham said concerning Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech, sovereign of Gerar, sent and took Sarah. But Elohim came to Abimelech in a dream by night, and said to him, See, you are a dead man, because the woman whom you have taken, for she is a man's wife. However, Abimelech had not come near her, and he said, Yah, would you kill a righteous nation also? Did he not say to me, She is my sister? And even she herself said, He is my brother? In the integrity of my heart, and in the innocence of my hands, I have done this. And Elohim said to him in a dream, Yes, I know that you did this in the integrity of your heart, so I have kept you from sinning against me. For this reason I did not let you touch her. And now return the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and let him pray for you, and you live. But if you do not return her, know that you shall certainly die, you and all that are yours. So Abimelech rose early in the morning, and called all his servants, and spoke all these words in their hearing. And the men were greatly frightened. And Abimelech called Abraham, and said to him, What have you done to us? In what way have I sinned against you, that you have brought on me, and on my reign, a great sin? You have done matters to me that should not be done. And Abimelech said to Abraham, What did you have in view, that you have done this matter? And Abraham said, Only because I said to myself, The fear of Elohim is not in this place. They shall kill me for the sake of my wife. And yet, she is truly my sister. She is the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother, and she became my wife, half-sister. And it came to be, when Elohim caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said, Go to her. This is your loving commitment, that you should do for me in every place where we go, and say of me, He is my brother. Then Abimelech took sheep and cattle, and male and female servants, and gave them to Abraham, and he returned Sarah his wife to him. And Abimelech said, See, my land is before you, dwell wherever it is good in your eyes. And to Sarah he said, See, I have given your brother 1,000 pieces of silver. See, it is to you a covering of the eyes before all who are with you. and before all others, and you are cleared before everyone." And Abraham prayed to Elohim, and Elohim healed Abimelech and his wife and his female servants, so they bore children. For Yah had closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Genesis 21. And Yah visited Sarah as he had said, and Yah did for Sarah as he had spoken. So Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age at the appointed time, of which Elohim had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son who was born to him, from whom Sarah bore to him, Yitzhak, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Yitzhak when he was 8 days old, as Elohim had commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Yitzhak was born to him. And Sarah said, "Elohim has made me laugh, and everyone who hears of it laughs with me." So she said, "Who would have said to Abraham that Sarah would nurse children? For I have borne him a son in his old age." And as the child grew and was weaned, Abraham made a feast on the day that Yitzhak was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Mitzrayim, whom she had borne to Abraham, mocking. So she said to Abraham, "Drive out this female servant and her son, for the son of this female servant shall not inherit with my son, with Yitzhak." And the matter was very evil in the eyes of Abraham because of his son. But Elohim said to Abraham, "Let it not be evil in your eyes because of the boy, and because of your female servant. Whatever Sarah has said to you, listen to her voice. For in Yitzhak your seed is called. And of the son of the female servant, I also make a great nation because he is your seed." And Abraham rose early in the morning, took bread and a skin of water, which he gave to Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, also the boy, and sent her away. And she left and wandered in the wilderness of Beersheba. And the water in the skin was used up. And she placed the boy under one of the shrubs, and she went and sat down about a bow shot away, for she said, "Let me not see the death of the boy." And she sat opposite him, and lifted her voice and wept. And Elohim heard the voice of the boy, and the messenger of Elohim called to Hagar from the heavens and said to her, "What is the matter with you, Hagar? Do not fear, for Elohim has heard the voice of the boy where he is. Arise, lift up the boy and hold him with your hand, for I make a great nation of him." And Elohim opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water, and she went and filled the skin with water, and gave the boy a drink. And Elohim was with the boy, and he grew and dwelt in the wilderness, and became an archer. And he dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took a wife for him from the land of Mitzrayim. And it came to be at that time that Abimelech and Pekol, the commander of his army, spoke to Abraham, saying, "Elohim is with you in all that you do. And now, swear to me by Elohim, not to be untrue to me, to my offspring, nor to my descendants. Do to me according to the loving commitment that I have done to you and to the land in which you dwelt." And Abraham said, "I swear." And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of a well of water which Abimelech's servants had seized. And Abimelech said, "I do not know who has done this deed, neither did you inform me, nor did I hear until today." So Abraham took sheep and cattle and gave them to Abimelech, and the two of them made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech asked Abraham, "What are these 7 ewe lambs which you have set by themselves?" And he said, "Take these 7 ewe lambs from my hand to be my witness that I have dug this well." So he called that place Beersheba, because the two of them swore an oath there. Thus they made a covenant at Beersheba, and Abimelech rose with Pekol, the commander of his army, and they returned to the land of the Philistines. And he planted a tamarisk tree in Beersheba, and there called on the name of Yah, the everlasting El. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistines many days.